Tara's Local Inspiration. In this video, you'll be hearing from my sister Doris. Doris is my oldest sister. First of all, let me just say why I started this channel, Tara's Local Inspiration. I know a lot of people, like in my hometown city, Fort Worth, Dallas, they have like their own businesses and things like that, and people that inspire me, that have like, you know, triumphal stories. So my intention for this channel was to spotlight individuals or whoever locally and tell their story. And my sister Doris was one of the first people that I wanted to do a story on. I had always heard bits and pieces of Doris's story. I never understood it. The first I heard of Doris was my older sister telling me of what had happened to her. But my first time meeting Doris, her dad brought her to my mom's house. I was a little girl. Doris was grown, and I remember she was walking with one of those canes, and she was holding on to her dad's arm. And I was sitting in a chair, and our door was open, but we had a screen door. And I was looking out the screen door and watching her dad walk her up to the door and brought her in. And I remember my mom coming out and my sister's dad telling her, "I brought Doris to see you." And I remember looking at my mom's face, and she had to look as if she had seen a ghost. I don't remember much of that visit, but I remember while she was there, I kept asking my mama, I was tapping her leg, "Mama, who is that? Who is that?" And my mom wouldn't say anything. And Doris's dad said, "This is your sister." And I just remember saying, "Oh." But I was too young to understand. I heard him say she was my sister, but I didn't really grasp it. And looking at her visually, you could tell that some things had happened to her, and I could tell she was blind. So after they left, I asked my mom, I said, "Mama, what happened to her?" And I just remember my mom saying the people that raised her abused her. Fast forward to years later, like I said, me starting this channel, and I also started a Facebook page, Tara's Local Inspiration. And I just remember wanting to get my sister's story because she has such this happy-go-lucky, bubbly personality. And just the things that I heard that she went through as a child, it would always amaze me that she always had such a joyful spirit. And I just wanted to know, like, from the things that I heard that happened to her, like, how is she able to be so happy? She has a great life now. She's married. She has children and grandchildren. But I really wasn't prepared when I actually heard it coming from her, what actually happened to her. And let me just go back a little bit again. I remember meeting her that one time as a little girl, and probably didn't see her anymore after that. But I remember when I got in high school, I don't know what grade I was in, but I know I wasn't a freshman. A guy friend of mine that was in high school with me, he was telling me, "I met your niece, Pam." He was telling me that I had a niece named Pam that attended the school with me, Trimble Tech. And I said, "I don't have a niece named Pam. I have a sister named Pam," because I didn't know of a niece named Pam. And he was like, "Well, this girl, I know her. She said that you're her aunt." Then I remember someone else coming to me telling me, "I met your niece." And I kept saying, like, why do they keep telling me they met my niece? I don't have a niece named Pam. Then not long after that, my sister came to my mom's house. And she had her children with her. And one of her daughters refused to come in our house. She said on my mom's porch she wouldn't come in. And I was looking at her out the screen door, and I said, "She goes to school with me." And my sister called her a nickname, but then she told me her real name. Her real name was Pam. And I said, "That's who everybody's at school is telling me, my niece." She knew I was her aunt, but I didn't know she was my niece. I didn't know of her. And she would tell everyone that that's my aunt. but she wouldn't speak to me, and I didn't understand that. So I kind of think that she was upset with what had happened to her mom. She had heard what had happened to her mom, and maybe she felt like we had something to do with it, or it was sort of our fault. She was a kid too, so maybe she didn't understand it just as well as I didn't understand it. But finally, sitting down, planning to tell my sister's inspirational story, I wasn't ready. I was kind of in shock just listening to her on camera. And I just remember feeling such a way after listening to her. And I told her I was going to tell her story, and she was okay with it. She was happy about me, me sharing her story. And on my way home, I remember calling my older sister, who had told me of the things that had happened to her. And I remember asking her, why come you didn't tell me? Why you didn't tell me that it was that bad? And I remember telling her, I can't share this. And I knew that if I shared that story, that I would probably get backlash about my mom. My mom was still living, and I wasn't ready to hear, people make critical or comments, criticize my mom. I just told myself I would not share the story. I never told my sister that I decided not to share it, or why, or anything. I didn't share it. So while I've been uploading old footage, I came across the footage from the interview with my sister. I never deleted it, and I kind of forgot about it. So I decided to watch it the other day, and I thought, wow. I told my sister I was going to share her story, and all these years have passed by and I have not. It's been about 3 or 4 years since I interviewed my sister. And I've often said that my mom wasn't a person to talk about her past. I remember me and a few of my sisters trying to have like an intervention with my mom to get her to kind of explain and just let it out and let us know like what was the reason behind the decision that she made, to give Doris away. It didn't go over well. My mom was kind of combative. She wasn't in the stage of wanting to admit anything. She felt like we were like kind of ambushing her, or she didn't take it well. And I also remember growing up, I have another older sister. I remember growing up going to her. She would come get me a lot, and I would stay with her on the weekends at times. She took me to these people's house, and I remember her calling this lady mom or mama. And she introduced me to another lady as her sister. And I didn't say anything while we were there at the time, but I was thinking, that ain't her mama. Why is she calling that lady mama? So when we got back to her house, I asked her, I said, why were you calling that lady mama? That's not your mom. And she told me, well, she's the lady that raised me. She took care of me. She never said my mom gave her away, but she explained it to me as like, that lady took care of me. She raised me, so that's why I call her mom. And I think I just said, oh, and still really didn't understand it. Doris is a child that my mom had given away. I don't want to ramble on too much. I just wanted to give that kind of introduction to the story before you hear my sister tell her story. And you will be able to tell in the video that it was a few years ago, because it was right when I first cut all my hair off to go natural. So here is my sister Doris telling her story of being given away and abused and forgiveness. Hello everyone, this is Tara from Tara's Local Inspiration, and today I'm doing an interview with my sister Doris Jones. She has a very inspirational story. Hope you like it. Doris,
Yes.
do you know how it came about that you were given away?
I came about my mom and my auntie had got it into that, giving me away.
Which aunt?
Mama's sister, one of her sisters, the one that stayed in San Antonio. What was her name? I don't remember her name. I know her husband's name was Philip.
Well, how old were you?
I was about 7 or 8 years old.
Oh, I thought you were giving away as a baby.
No. No.
So what happened during that time?
Somewhere or another, Mama came down, the woman, her husband came down there and got me, well, Hardy was at work where we worked. They came down there and got me. It was said that she didn't have no kids and she wanted some kids, so I don't really know the true story on that, but they gave me to her and her husband in San Antonio. My dad wasn't at home, he was gone to work or wherever.
Your dad was gone to work when your mom gave you away?
Yeah.
Did he know?
No. He didn't know until after the fact. I was gone by the time he got home.
Oh wow. And so after she gave him to you, what happened? What kind of life did you have?
A messed up life. I was abused, mistreated, all.
What type of, okay, verbally?
Abuse, physically abuse. They would beat me. The man tried to mess with me. And he had the guy that was down there, he's supposed to be our cousin. He would have him try to mess with me. He was older than me. I don't know. I think he was about 10. He was about 10. I didn't know his name.
Did this happen like right after they got you, or how long after they got you did this start?
You know, that was a blank. After before all this started happening, I don't even remember. I just remember the abuse. That's all I remember.
Really?
What other things took place, I can't remember.
What about the woman that was in the house? Did she try to protect you?
I think she was kind of afraid of her husband. She was kind of afraid. Now, she always told him, it wasn't right or stuff like that. But when it all boiled down and I got to thinking about it as I got older, I think she was afraid of him.
Oh, wow.
And it was said that she had called back up here and told me needed to come and get me because her husband was doing things to me that wasn't right.
Who did she call?
I guess Mama now. Because her mom's brother, Mama came down and got me.
Do you know, when your dad got home, what did your mom tell him? I mean,
I don't know what she told. I don't know what she told. But I guess they wrote the book. I don't know how they got down there. I don't remember that. But they came down and got me and brought me back forward.
Okay. And so is that how you ended up being blind?
From all the trauma.
Oh wow.
Well, I had went through all the trauma of being hit in the head. I have scars and stuff on my back as well as my head from the abuse. And when I got in a foster home, the state got me after I took sick. And they took me to the hospital. That's how I became a ward of the state.
Oh.
Yeah, and the lady's name is Miss Chandler with child welfare. The hospital called the child welfare when Hunter and them brought me up there because I was sick. Then come find out I was starving from malnutrition because Mama wouldn't feed me.
Your biological mom?
Yeah.
And this was after you got back?
Yeah.
Okay, you said Mom did what?
She catered to it because she starts keeping me separated from the kids. She wouldn't let me, once my daddy was gone to work, she would put me outside.
Outside?
Yeah, outside. I had to stay outside. Wouldn't get back in until he get back home. And I would sleep up on the house at night. Because at that time, he worked at night. And I had to sleep up under the house. Because it was cold out there. We had a house that stood up off the ground.
Uh-huh.
And I go up under the house and sleep. And a white man gave my dad a German Shepherd, a dog. And that dog would follow me up all over that yard, even up under the house. That was my safety.
The dogs.
Until the dog snapped at Mama when she beat me with a water hose out in the backyard one night.
Why?
One evening, because I wouldn't come to her. And the dog snapped at me. I know they got rid of the dog. Yeah.
So, do you, I mean, when your mom got you back, I mean, she didn't have like any compassion for you?
No. None at all. I couldn't even come in the house to eat. She wouldn't feed me. I had to sneak in the house. We had a back screen there and back porch. That's where I would stay, sneak through the kitchen window and get me something to eat. Still eating sugar and stuff like that, because I wasn't tall enough to eat nothing else.
And how old were you when you got back to your mom now?
I'm going to say I was about 8.
Because you said they got you when you was 7?
Yeah.
So they had you probably about a year.
But, yeah, so, I couldn't even get no water and stuff. I was drinking water out the commode. Took water out the toilet and all that, get some water because I be thirsty either. And my dad would have the water drawn up in the tube. I drink water out there.
Did your dad know that you were being treated like that?
Yeah, I think so. But he was just, I don't know. I think. So I said, I know I was here on fussing sometimes. Then when we found out I was staying outside, I don't know who told him. Or somebody told me.
So he didn't know that you were staying outside?
No, some of the neighbors told it. And Mama was putting me outside.
Oh my God. And so, and then how did that end?
How that end? What it was? We went to on a picnic. It was I think it was. I'm gonna say it was the 4th of July. Either Juneteenth or we went to a picnic. Mama had the kids. Mama and her had the kids in the car. They went to a picnic down in the park. And I was sick, so they wasn't gonna let me get out the car. So they carried me over. I ain't had the maid's house to stay until they come back from the picnic. But I was so sick and hungry, so I was eating. And had the maid was in there frying chicken, but she didn't get it done. One had it done. I was in there eating raw clam hair grease because I was hungry. So then I started throwing up. That's how I wound up going to the hospital. And had me told home that they were going to have to take me to the hospital because I was sick. And when I got there, the authorities called child welfare. They took pictures of my body where it had been. They said it looked like cigarette burns.
Where did the cigarette burns come from?
From the abuse I went to that in San Antonio.
Oh, they put cigarettes out on you?
And it wasn't cigarette. I don't know what it was. Whelps.
But it looked like cigarette.
Yeah, it looked like cigarette burn.
And what about your fingers? Who did that?
My fingers, I was so little, so I don't even remember how my fingers got off. My ear.
What happened with your ear?
He had slammed me down on the arm of the couch one time. And my ear just messed up from that because they did surgery on my ear, tried to get it back right, but it didn't work. They did surgery on my lip, but he had busted my lip. They did surgery. I had plastic surgery on my ear and my lip, as well as eye surgery, all that throughout my childhood life.
And that was from the man that your mom had gave you to? So he was like supposed to be your daddy?
I guess. Yeah. Cause that was her the lady's husband.
Oh.
And that boy that was with us, that's supposed to be our cousin. I asked Mama one time where was he at. She said he was down in Houston, but he was crazy.
Oh, wow.
Because I never forgot him. God, that man was trying to make him mess with me.
He was trying to make it?
Mm-hmm. He was a kid himself.
Oh my God. So this man was sick.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, years later, as I got grown and stuff, I was at church. I was at a friend of mine's church, and this lady came up to me. She said, "Hi, I'm your cousin. You don't know?" I said, "No." I said, "Who are you?" She said, "Katie." And she said, "Yeah, my dad, you stayed with my dad." And she was telling me, in San Antonio, when I seen when she said that, I started getting mad. He said, but he done had a stroke and stuff. He's staying with me. I told him, "No, we're not gonna go there. I don't have no reason to go see him. He ain't no kin to me. Also, me and him ain't gonna sit right now. I'm grown." So we didn't talk no more. I stayed in foster care up until I was I stayed awarded upstate up until I was 19, because they wanted to see how I was, because I come up pregnant with my oldest child, and they wanted to see how I was gonna take to having a baby, because as they say, when you come from an abused family, you tendency to abuse your own. So I had some good, I say I had some good foster places. Some were good, some was bad. But my first one, the first one I went to on the south side of Fort Worth, it was real nice up until the son moved out from Dallas there, and then he had to start fooling with us and stuff like that, with the girls. And after we kids started talking and telling the other kids that got out, and they started placing this one, they sent me to Malakoff, Texas. I stayed down there.
And how old were you then?
I was like 13, 14 down there. So I stayed down there. Not even at a year, because I started getting into it, having fights down there. And the owner of the place, she wasn't no good, because she was mistreating some of the kids and her son. Mistreating some of the kids, beating the girls and beating, because I had a fight with the woman. She's an older lady. Her son used to be on OIC. Long time ago, they used to have a show on TV called OIC, come on Channel 11. It was led by her son. And because her son's now was down there, she would just run over the kids and beat them and stuff like that. And she jumped on me one day, and I turned around and beat her with a chair. And she sent me to the room. She was going to come down there with that bat to beat me, but I pushed her down.
So it's like you just went through one traumatic situation after another.
But after I stayed there, but they sent me back up here to the home they used to call the children's home over there on Lancaster. I stayed in there up until I think I was 15. I was 15, and I stayed in that one. Then I met my brother-in-law, because I was in the hospital. I had was having surgery, because I had my eye had started messing up again.
So when did your sight start fading away?
And sight started fading away when I was carrying my son.
Oh.
But the last surgery I had when I was 15 years old, they told me that I wasn't gonna be able to have another one like that, because it was a pregnant at the time, and I would have to go to Dallas to have, because there wasn't no doctors no more in Fort Worth capable of doing that kind of surgery. So when I completely lost my sight, I was pregnant with my son. 5 months pregnant.
And how old were you then?
What is he? 27.
You were 27.
So I let my sight. I've been having eye problems throughout my childhood life from the trauma I went through and the abuse and stuff. So the doctor told me I would eventually lose, but I didn't know. I thought I was going to be when I got old.
27.
Yeah.
Wow. So the day I met you, you must have been grown.
Yeah, I was grown when I met y'all.
Yeah, because I remember your dad, Hunter, brought you to the house.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first time seeing you.
Yeah, I was grown then. Mm-hmm.
And so, with your biological mom getting you back, Doris, and then you being still mistreated by your biological mom, have you forgiven her?
Yeah, I forgave her. You know, I done growed up and got my own kids now.
Yeah.
I couldn't just go about it first. I hated her. I really did. And whatever, my sister, my late sister, Skeeter, she told me that I won't be able to get through life with all the hate I had in my heart for our mom. And so I told her, I said, well, I don't feel like I owe her nothing. She did stuff to me. I don't owe her anything. So she said I wasn't going to make it nowhere if I didn't forgive her. So I just let it go.
Wow.
So I don't have no hate for her. I don't wish her no kind of bad luck or nothing, because after all, she's still my mom, and God see me through all that. So I have no regrets for her.
A lot of people wouldn't make it through that.
No. Well, God was there for me, so I didn't have no problem.
I can't even imagine. Okay, so did your mom ever apologize?
No. No. She never apologized.
This is amazing. Okay. But what advice would you give someone who has been through something like that can't find a way to forgive and can't get past them? What would you tell them?
I say prayer and support, counseling, because a group support. That's the only way you can make it, and forgiveness and prayer. Mm-hmm. That's the only way you're going to be able to let it go, because it can eat you up.
And how long did you go through it before you were able to forgive?
Ooh. After I had my son, I just let it go.
Okay.
Because even when I got pregnant with my daughter, my oldest child, I was still hurt. Because at that time, I felt like I needed my mama.
Yeah.
But, and I still was holding a lot of hatred toward her. I was just thank God that I wasn't able to be around her, during those times.
Yeah.
So, like I say, everything's okay now. It was a hard battle trying to fight it, though.
I can't even imagine. And so how is your life now?
Oh, that's great. That's great. I have 3 wonderful kids. I have 4 grandkids, 1 great-grandson.
Amazing. Well, Doris, thank you for sharing your story. You are truly a blessing and an inspiration, and hopefully by sharing your story, it will help someone else that's been through something similar, help somebody else that's going through something. They see you can make it, they know that they can make it too. So thank you for sharing your story.
Hi, my name is Doris.
That's all you gonna say?
My name is Doris Jones.